Okay, so Wikipedia and companies. As Helena said, my name is Lennart Guldbrandsson. I started writing on Wikipedia in 2005, which is before it was cool. I became the press contact for Swedish Wikipedia in 2006. When we started a Wikimedia Chapter, and I'll let you know what that is in a little bit. I became the first chairperson there. And then I wrote one of the first books about Wikipedia in 2008. I've been hired twice by the Wikimedia Foundation, and I've been hired by the national, the Swedish National Heritage Agency, Riksantikvarieämbetet, as a Wikipedian in residence. So you're in good hands when it comes to Wikipedia. I'm also one of the few people, one of the few Wikipedians, I should say, that talks openly about Wikipedia and companies. This is one of the most difficult topics when it comes to Wikipedia, and I'll let you know why in a little bit as well. And I hope you'll appreciate that these are one of the toughest questions that Wikipedia deals with. So I'll talk about that, why that is one of the most difficult topics. So the reason, of course, why you should be interested in Wikipedia is this graph. So these are some of the normal information sites on the internet. You have the New York Times and CNN and so forth, and you have Wikipedia way above it. This chart ends in April 2010. This year we're up to more than 500 million viewers, and these are visitors each month. So we have 500 million visitors each month. How many do you have on your websites, I wonder? Should we compete, perhaps? No, I don't think. I don't think you should compete. No. Yes. So we're one of the 10 most visited websites in the world, and of course we're an encyclopedia, and we're here to provide free knowledge to anyone, and we let anybody contribute to the encyclopedia as well. Of course, that's why you should contribute to Wikipedia, or you should be interested in it. I'll let you know what happens if you do it wrongly. So I don't know if you know, Xenu is sort of the mascot of the Scientologists, the sect, and in 2005 they really started focusing on spreading their word on Wikipedia. So they started slanting the articles in their direction, so to speak, and really pushing their point of view. And in 2009, the struggle went on for a long time, 4 years. And in 2009, they were finally blocked, all of them, from editing Wikipedia ever. So that's the price you may have to pay if you do this wrongly. And this is why I think this is a hard topic, because so many companies try to go on Wikipedia, and then their edits are reverted, or their work is undone, or they have some other form of penalty. There are, for instance, PR disasters. And the Scientologists experienced a major PR disaster after this, because everybody stood on Wikipedia's side in this crisis for them. So Wikipedia is an encyclopedia, as I said, and we have 5 pillars that we count on, and these are our guiding principles, if you will. And they're very easy to understand, mostly, and most of what we do comes from those. So I'll just run through them real quickly. The first one is that it's an encyclopedia. We're not a news agency, we're not a first-hand source, and we're not scholarly work or something like that. We're an encyclopedia. That's all we are. The second one is that the information in Wikipedia should be neutral. And this is where many companies part ways with Wikipedia, because they want to have PR on their websites. They don't want neutral information, because who's helped by that? What customers will be turned on by neutral information? So that's where one of the parting ways are with Wikipedia and companies. But I think we can overbridge that. Okay, so the third pillar that we have is that when you're on Wikipedia and you edit Wikipedia, you should be kind to the other users. You should use Netiquette. And the fourth one is that everything on Wikipedia is free. Not as free as in free beer, but free as in free speech. That is, we let anybody copy everything that is on Wikipedia, images as well as words, and you can disseminate it further. So if you want to, you could copy everything on Wikipedia, print DVDs, and sell those. We're okay with that, because our major issue, our goal is to spread information. So that works in our favor if you do that. Okay? So freely licensed work. Everything on Wikipedia needs to be able to be commercially disseminated by others. And the final one is that Wikipedia has no firm rules. This is perhaps the most difficult of Wikipedia's rules, that we have no firm rules. That is, we need to be able to be quick on our feet. We don't want to have a system of law that is unchanging. So we need to be updated, and we need to have our system so transparent that anybody can change it over time. So who does that? Who does the changes? Well, we're about 100,000 people who are on Wikipedia regularly, globally. There are millions who have done single edits or a couple of edits, but 100,000 of us are the regular Wikipedians. This is on one of our meetings, Wikimania, which is a yearly conference. This was in Washington, D.C., and I can actually be found here on this image. So, and we're of course all different, and we interpret the different rules on Wikipedia differently, and we have different interests. And this is reflected, of course, in how Wikipedia and how people that experience Wikipedia, what they meet. For instance, I usually say that Wikipedia is not one encyclopedia, it's a collection of encyclopedias. We have a different encyclopedia for butterflies than we have for 18th century artists from France, for instance. So this is, I don't know if you can see this, this is a printed book. And these are the featured articles, our very best articles on English Wikipedia. And those are very, very good. But those are only one encyclopedia within Wikipedia. The articles, when it comes to companies, are slightly worse. In fact, some of them are even bad. And the problem is, as I said earlier, the division between Wikipedia's goal of neutrality and the company's need for PR work. So even Fortune 500 companies, in some cases, don't even have articles, because Wikipedians see this as a topic that is so controversial and so complex that many won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And this is, of course, a problem. We have some problems on Wikipedia. We don't, and we never deny that. In fact, we embrace those. But this is one of the few topics on Wikipedia that is so controversial that we have no final solution for this. This is why I think that it's important to meet people like you, to be able to start some sort of discussion on how to solve this. So, what could you do if you want to engage with Wikipedia? Well, there are actually 3 different solutions to this. And one of the most common ways to deal with the situation of, oh, we need to have a good Wikipedia article and we can't edit it, or we don't know how to edit it, well, let's get a PR firm to do it for us. And that's a very, very difficult thing to do. And I'm not here to suggest that you shouldn't do it, although many Wikipedians do just that. They think it's a no-no on paid editing or to editing by PR firms. But we could never enforce a prohibition against paid editing. Do you see? It's a difficult thing. We don't demand that people let us know who they are, so we can't really check if they are paid to do an edit or not. But we do check almost everything that happens on Wikipedia. And if you're interested, afterwards I'll let you know how we do that. Okay, so the thing is that when it comes to PR agencies, or one of the most famous one is called Wikipedia, the problem is that, this happens. Wikipedians discover what happens, and you're gonna have a fight on your hands, like with the Scientologists, because you do this. The PR firm does this. They dump a whole lot of text onto Wikipedia. They don't use the normal system of having articles reviewed regularly and by trusted Wikipedians. So when they do this, what happens is the same as with the Scientologists. Okay, so you could do it with a PR firm or with some sort of firm that does this for you, but you need to be aware what you're buying. And you need to be involved in the process. And this is difficult, even for Wikipedians. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, one of the most prominent Wikipedians that I know was fired by the Wikimedia Foundation because she was paid to do editing on an article. This is something that's really, really frowned upon. So it's a difficult thing. If you do this, you need to be really careful, and you need to check with someone before you do it, to do it right. Most agencies don't know what they're doing. They promise everything under the sun. They promise that you will have a good article, and you won't have, because they write a puff piece instead. And they don't use the normal wiki way to do this. So you need to check with Wikipedians to do this right. You could do it yourself, and this is what I recommend, because most PR agencies don't know how to do this in a good way. But if you do it yourself, here are some do's and don'ts, and I'll start with the don'ts. Okay, the first thing is, don't share an account. You should have one account for each person. It's not the Coca-Cola account that edits Wikipedia. You should have John McPherson or whatever your name is, or you should be really clear on whose account it is. Okay, the second thing is, if the article isn't what you want it to be right now, you shouldn't threaten people. And you shouldn't demand that other people change it for you. The third thing you should not do is create an article. Because creating an article is harder than you might imagine. We have a set standard for that. And you really need to know what you're doing, because if you don't do it the normal way, then the article will be deleted. So then your work will be undone, and you will have wasted your time. So don't worry, I'll show you what to do next. So the don't part is just one part of the thing. So. Okay, the fourth part you shouldn't do is remove negative information. You might not like that Wikipedia writes about your crisis in 2008, but you shouldn't remove that information, because that's part of your history. And what you should do instead is to increase the text so that the crisis is put in its perspective. Okay? The fifth thing that you shouldn't do, and most companies do this all the time, is that they copy from their own website and put it onto Wikipedia. And the reason why we don't allow this is that your material is copyrighted. So that means that we couldn't sell it. So that information would be removed from Wikipedia. What you can do, I'll talk to you in a little bit. And okay, so now we've gone through a whole lot of lists, a whole long list of what you shouldn't do. But Wikipedia is a welcoming place. So what you should do is you should imitate others. You should do as the Wikipedians do it. This is basically the golden rule on Wikipedia. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Because we've done this for 13 years now, and we know what we're doing. And you need to trust that. You need to trust that the process that we've developed is the best way that we've come up with so far. And if you want to change the process, you need to walk in our shoes for a little bit before you can expect us to change. What you can do is you can remove obvious vandalism. So if in your article there's something, a swear word, somebody has emptied your article from all content, you can of course rebuild the article. And we have very simple ways to do that. And if you're curious on how to do that, I'll show you afterwards. So you can remove if there is an obvious problem with the article. That's not a problem. What you also should do is to create an account. The currency on Wikipedia is trust. And the trust is earned by being transparent. So you should start an account and you should say, I work at this and this company and I'm here to contribute to Wikipedia, but also state that you are aware that there are rules on Wikipedia. As much as you can, be sure to mention that. Okay, so Wikipedia is not all articles. What you look at when you look at Wikipedia, if this is the screen, what you look at is this part. Above the article are some tabs, and one of the tabs is called Talk. And if you click that, you will find a discussion about the subject. This is Wikipedians. These are our ways of discussing how to do this in an effective way. Should this part of the article be expanded? Do we need more sources for this? Do we need to take out this section because it's not neutral enough? And so on. This is where you write your piece, your questions to us. So the talk page, remember that. And you can also find other users that have contributed to the article and ask them for help. So instead of doing it yourself, you ask another person to help you with the article. And be very polite. Wikipedians like that. We're not different from you. Okay, so another part that you could do is the history section. And most companies aren't aware of their own history. They're too focused in the here and now. And of course, I can understand that. You need to survive and make money. But the part that Wikipedians are interested in, and the public is interested in, is the history. And in Sweden, we have a Center for Business History that we've cooperated with in a contest which is called Svenska Publishing Priset, the Swedish Publishing Award. And together we've asked companies to actually write on Wikipedia, but we've asked them to concentrate on the history part, because that's the one that are least problematic for companies to contribute in. Another thing that you can do is to provide sources for us. On your website, I know that some of you have talked about this already today with the corporate reports. If you publish an annual report on your website, you can easily show us where that report is, and it will make it much easier for us to write about your company. But you can also, on your account page, you can show us where you can find information about your company, because it may not be so obvious if you're not working on that company where the corporate information is residing on your website. Perhaps it's not even on the public website, but on a more behind the scenes website. One thing that's very, very appreciated by Wikipedians is images. Hardly any of the most famous corporate people in the world have portraits. So, does your CEO have an image on Wikipedia? Should he or she have that? You need to put that freely licensed, of course, but it's a good way to present that person in a good and neutral way. But the thing is, the things I've said, it's very hard for you to remember those, isn't it? So what I will do is I will show you this QR code, and if you have a modern smartphone, you should be able to take a picture of this, and you'll be linked to Zipper's and Wikimedia UK's best practice guidance to this, and it's very, very good, and they will let you know everything. I'll remove it myself from here, so you can, and you can also use the short code bit.ly/wiki-pr. It's a very good report, and it's a PR company, or PR company association, I should say. It's an association of PR companies that together with Wikipedians have made a really, really good guide to what you can and can't do, what you should and shouldn't do. And what I've said is basically one version of that.